Hello!
And welcome to our new series.
Confetti, confetti, confetti!
We are screaming children going, yay! We gotta put that in now.
At first it was like, I was like screaming children, like, oh no.
This is Mars, man!
That's true. They're terrified of the new series.
So, back at it again, starting with Pisces.
Pachoo. Mars and Pisces. Mars is the planet of aggression, work,
Action, and sex.
Oh, spicy.
Mm-hmm. I think we know someone pretty well with the Mars and Pisces.
I think it's somebody's roommate.
Oh, it's my roommate.
I think it's Bella.
It's Bella.
Oh, yes. But we won't shout out anybody else because that could get weird.
Yeah. So let's go over the basics of Pisces. It's the fish.
In two different directions.
Oh yeah, two fish.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's ruled by Neptune.
That's my It is a mutable sign.
And a water sign.
Yes.
Duh. Fishy, fishy. And it rules.
Oh, and does that come into Mars and Pisces?
I think it does a little, because when it rules a part of the body, that is considered the erogenous zone.
Ooh.
So what erogenous zone means, like, you don't necessarily have a foot fetish, but maybe your feet are more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you just like playing a little footsie, you know?
Or it can mean that you have a foot fetish.
It can.
Yeah, definitely a sensitive point is the feet, or maybe you're just like, you love to run or walk.
Or love shoes.
Yeah. You like to accessorize those feet, get those pedicures.
Like, it's sexy when you got like a nice 6-inch heel. Like, what? That's not sexy. I mean, it can be. You know. Let's get into a Pisces when they're angry. We've been over that it's ruled by Neptune and that it's a water sign. Now, anytime that Mars is in a water sign placement,
it's like,
or it's like underwater and then just like bubble, 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 bubble. And I definitely think that Mars and Pisces is like a brooding.
Yeah. Type. I feel like Scorpio's the bubble, Cancer's the underneath, and like Pisces is
like the shit you don't even know lives in the ocean.
It's like, how is that fire still lit underwater? And you don't think it is because that's not possible, but it is.
Yeah. And so because it's mutable, you're not necessarily wanting to confront it, you're not necessarily going to be very confrontational, but things are going to sit at the very bottom of the ocean and you're going to brood on them. And then because you got Neptune there, you're going to brood and brood and brood, and then the facts are going to get a little strewn. And something that I've noticed with Mars and Pisces is that when it comes to confrontation, it's very emotional.
Oh yeah, crying when you're angry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
B, they might lie, but not in like a manipulative kind of way. Just like they believe their own lie.
Yeah, it's like that Neptune. It's ruled by Neptune, so they're totally disillusioned. So they're like, it's not that they might be purposefully lying. I don't know, maybe they are depending on the person. But they might actually think they're telling the truth. They're just so disillusioned by what the situation that they're angry about, that they don't know what's going on.
Or even if they know that they're lying, they're just going to believe their lie wholeheartedly. Like there was a situation, I was in a play with the Mars and Pisces, and it was a really complicated situation because drama. And he was saying that it was totally his fault. But he was saying that it wasn't his fault, and everyone knew that it was his fault, and we had like the administrator come in and be like, I can't tell you the details, but it's his fault. And he was blaming it on someone else, and he just fully believed like it wasn't his fault. Confrontation, it's hard to be in confrontation with a Mars and Pisces because they're gonna think they're right. They're not necessarily the great listeners, because if you're like, facts, 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 they're like, shield of Neptune, shield of Neptune.
Also, it's hard to tell facts at somebody when they're crying hysterically.
Oh, yeah.
Or just like are very emotional. And Mars and Pisces, like Pisces is a very sensitive place, and just a placement wherever it is. And so you're very sensitive in confrontation. And so like if you were to like dig at them, it would really dig deep and really hurt them. Like I think it's something like, and like if they are in the right, like the other person can really hurt them easily, I think, because they can easily like dig into their sensitive spot.
Yeah, that's true.
They will definitely like fish around at confrontation too.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not to say that they might not confront somebody after they're totally over and done with it, but they're not going to be like a typical like I don't know if to call it like healthy Mars placement, but like a fiery Mars placement, because Mars is fiery in general.
Or even just aggressive.
Yeah, where they're gonna just be like, ah,
or like, I'm dealing with this thing and I should talk to so-and-so about it because it's making me feel some type of way. How about we just let it sink to the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah, and they're huge escapists, so they're gonna, like Pisces is, so they're gonna escape from their confrontations for as long as possible. I feel bad. This is like, I feel like all Mars signs are gonna be very negative though.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of negative.
But then we'll make up for it when we talk about sex. Because it's like escapist and dreamy, like Pisces in general, Pisces placements can be very lazy. And when Mars is a planet of action, it can obviously change depending on aspects or house placements. You might just be a little lazy, might want things to come to you instead of going after things. Also very idealistic, so you might not necessarily have it in your mind that you need to go after things. You're just kind of, my life will all work out. Why would I have to go apply for this job when they can just offer it to me?
But Mars and Pisces, anything where Pisces is very creative, and I think that's like a huge plus side, is that with like having a strong Pisces influence just makes you so artistic and so naturally creative
and good intuition.
Yeah, there's got to be some psychicness to you in that sense. So like I feel like even if like you don't want to confront somebody, you kind of know when it's gonna happen. Like your intuition will be like, okay, this is gonna happen this time, or something off. Like even if you put it off, I feel like there's that little thing in their mind, like it's going to happen, or it's not going to happen, or I should, you know what I mean?
Or
like,
this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah. Or if it's gonna happen, that just might make you want to put it off even more.
Exactly. Because you know it's gonna happen anyway, so why do you need to actually do it?
Exactly. That's a good point. Like, why do I need to go after this job when I know that some great opportunity is gonna come to me? That's like another thing about like going.
I mean, maybe depending on your chart, it might work. Like, do you Jupiter in the first house? Because like that could happen for you very easily.
Yeah. A lot of people forget that Pisces is also semi-ruled by Jupiter.
Is it really?
Yeah, before Neptune was like discovered as a planet, they were like, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. I don't really know how it works, but I see a lot of I've been seeing more and more similarities between Pisces and Sagittarius.
No, I see it definitely. Like, even though they square, I always feel like they should get along.
Moving on to
the sexual aspect of Mars and Pisces. Oh, okay. It's a very, like, as we said, like, they're all about that, like, intuitive psychic connection with their partner. Like, they don't want to tell you, like, this is what I like, because you should just know.
Yeah.
You should be able to sense the aura that they're like, this is what I like. You know, like, why do you need words when you just, like, live through psychic connection? You know, and Mars and Pisces is going to want much more of, like, a spiritual experience and a, like, just a connection in that sense, more than like a Mars and Aries, which is just like, I'm gonna come, like.
The word that comes to mind when I think of Aries is primal, and that's like the opposite of Pisces.
Exactly, definitely.
Even though they're not opposite signs, they're just like on completely different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Even maybe if you have a lot of one-night stands, you might still feel a certain type of way about it. Maybe
their energy can stay with you, I think, more than most people.
And what's interesting is that if you see Pisces as the escapist and Mars, you might find that you escape through sex, or even as you're having it, you're not really present in the moment. It's not as much of a physical experience maybe for you. Maybe you even like feel like you can't be yourself and you can't treat the other person like themselves. Like you might be seriously into role playing, or just like disassociating with the act itself, or just disassociating sex with your real life.
Yeah, definitely the feet thing can come into play or something. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what we know about Mars and Pisces.
Hope you enjoyed. And just remember to always talk to people about feet stuff before you just go ahead and do it. Or anything. Anything. Just talk to them before you go ahead and do it. Communication is key. And sometimes people aren't on the same psychic path as you.
Sorry, Mars and Pisces.
Sometimes you need to use your actual words.
I know that's hard for you guys.
That actually works in confrontation too. Like they'll be like storming around giving you the silent treatment and you're like, what's wrong? You don't know what's wrong? You should know already.
Oh my god. Mars and Pisces. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.